You know, some days when all you want to do is read a good book. I'm reading A Winged Pharaoh. It's a far memory book by Joan Grant. It was published in 1937. My mother was 2 years old then, my late mother. Anyway, so it was published a long time ago. She was a seer, and in this life she was the daughter of Pharaoh. Pharaoh's dead. Her brother is ruling calm, and this plays before the flood and before Babylon, and about 5,000 years after Atlantis. We are now in part 3 of this book, chapter 20, The Blind Goddess. Dio was building a temple wherein truth is housed, yet he could not see her walking through the courts or hear her voice in the quiet sanctuaries. Although I could not give him of my knowledge, there were many things of earth he gave to me. He showed me that, though a bird is carved in stone, its feathers may seem warm beneath the hand, and a carved baby donkey has all the sprawled unsteadiness of youth. In a hunting frieze, the stalking muscles slide smooth beneath the skin of a young leopard, and the deer, surprised at drinking, stands rigid with quick fear. He showed me that a dancer's posture may be caught, so that she stirs the pulse with her smooth rhythm, though long still in death. And though a dead fish dulls when netted in stone, its slippery silver lasts 1,000 years. One day, while I was watching Dio carving the frieze of fishermen pulling in their loaded net, I thought in my heart, when I'm Pharaoh, I shall cause the buildings in Dio's mind to grow upon earth. I shall send messengers to bring scribes and workers in stone to Men-at-Atis. I shall work in granite as others have worked in clay and brick. The pillars shall soar about men like the stalks of corn about a field mouse, yet the craftsmanship in stone shall have the precision of goldsmith's work. The scribes shall write so that the eye as well as the heart delights in their messages, and the walls shall be painted as though they were mirrors in which the beauty of the two lands is reflected. In dreams I have visited countries where there are great temples empty of teaching, and others where there is teaching in buildings that are unbeautiful, but in calm the light shall be housed worthily, a flame in a lamp of flawless alabaster. I wanted to tell Dio what I would do for him in the future, but if he had known that Pharaoh was my brother and that I had been born on the royal birth chair, I feared that he would shut the doors of his heart to me. Sorry. I hoped that one day they would be wide open to me and I could enter, though I wore the white gown. As I watched the stone under Dio's hand turning to fishes trapped in the nets, I thought of the great artificers, and I taught him of them, and how they wrought in flesh as he in stone. Although those that see your carven fish will share your memory of them, the thoughts of the gods can come alive on earth and follow out the master's plans for them. Some fish are made to drowse contentedly in pools shading their noondays under lotus leaves, and others journey the watery highways to the sea. I saw that my words had made no ripple in his thoughts, although he loved to listen to my voice. Dio, you think the earth is not made by Ptah? How do you think ants learned to build their citied hills? Why does the lotus live only in wet water and the scarlet poppy spring amongst the corn? The lotus has come from 1,000 years of plants where land was wet. The plants that needed the warmth of the sun upon their roots died out, and so we do not know of them. But lotuses adapted themselves and shot up long stems so that their flowers might blossom in the air. Do you think that this plant growing by the wall of its own will design its sheltering leaves to hide its buds from the hot sun? Do you deny the great artificers and hold that all things create and change themselves? And Dio said, "It must be so. I've heard that in countries to the north animals grow thicker coats in winter to protect themselves. And there are many things like that. Those that conform to change survive, the others die. So we only see those that succeed, and those that perish are forgotten. Do you think then that a plant possesses a more keenly tempered will than a woman? For you say, this plant designed its leaves at will. I've known women who wanted to have red hair, and though for 30 years they longed for it, still did their hair spring obstinately black, although the rest of it succumbed to die. You talk of nature. Whom do you think a blind goddess, the twin sister of chance, but no chance the form of any living thing so that its seed shall reproduce that change can only be done by the artificers. It pleases you to deny the gods, yet you do not deny them, you call their power by other names. One day you will find out that you but play with words, and though you think you simplify the world, you just shroud truth in small complexities. You think that the convolvulus once grew along the ground where taller plants kept it from the sun, and then of its own will put out tendrils, arms to save itself from death in the green shade. Do you think that the violet made its scent and the fish its multiplicity of scales? You would not expect the stone under your hand to flow into patterns untouched by a chisel, undisguised by your thoughts. Why do you give the flowers this godliness, the fish this wit, this charity of thought to achieve this beauty of themselves? You who love order and beauty of design with every stone meticulously placed, why do you look for chaos in the universe and try to make the smooth rhythm of the world into a lost drunkard staggering along a road that leads to nothingness? Dio smiled and said, Sekita, why will you always ponder on strange immensities? Leave all these thoughts until you need their warmth, when you feel cold wind blowing from your tomb. Why spoil the joy of a sycamore tree at noon, when it patterns the dust and shadow? What does it matter who made it or why it is there? Rejoice in the sunshine, and do not think of it as one of your ponderous gods. Think of the river as clear water in which we can bathe, and not as a symbol of interminable life. While you are young, rejoice and think not of the past. Be grateful for beauty, and do not always compare it to a vision, which you think puts it in the shadow. Delight in music, and do not listen for echoes from the stars. When you are old, you may have to bemuse your loneliness with memories, but now you do not need them, for the present is glorious before your eyes. One day I shall take you from this ancient land, where people are grave with too much wisdom, and take you to Minoas, where their hearts sing with youth. Happy Thursday.